which is like going viral, I think, where Charlamagne, the #1 lib out there, popped off against Anderson Cooper. Let's watch that, and then I'll get to the Ben Shabibo story.
That her saying that she thinks that she believes Donald Trump is a fascist got a lot of headlines because it was the first time she said it. She's been going along for days saying Mark Milley said he's a fascist. This person said this. You raised the question of authenticity in your interview with her, and that was an authentic moment where she says, "Yeah, I do think he's a fascist," and I think that's why it had a reaction. Donald Trump, he, for whatever you think about him, if you like him, if you hate him, he is certainly who he is. He's shown us who he is every single day.
Yeah, which is a fascist. And it's crazy because you still don't have news networks having that conversation. Yeah. Like when somebody...
I think Charlamagne is a lib, but he is right here. Controversial opinion, but mainstream media's coverage over Donald Trump, despite all of my criticisms of the Democratic Party, mainstream media's coverage over Donald Trump is so bad. It is objectively fucking ridiculous. They literally treat him like a child. They're like, he doesn't know what he's saying. It's like, bro, come on, dude. Come the fuck on. You are literally normalizing the most psychopathic sentiment. And then in 4 years, the Democrats adopt it. It's so fucking annoying. Anyway, sometimes in less than 4 years.
Says when somebody questions Kamala Harris's blackness or is she a DEI hire, y'all will have roundtable discussions about that, asking that question. How come you're not having roundtable discussions asking, is Donald Trump a fascist? Actually, not even asking it, stating it. I mean, when you look at the things that he's talking about doing, jailing journalists, jailing his political opponents, turning the military on American citizens. The guy said he wanted to terminate the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. How come that is not the topic of discussion on networks like CNN every day?
But do you think that, you were raising this with Kamala Harris about her own authenticity, about her own willingness to just, say things that aren't crafted. Do you think she needs to do more of that? Trump's going to go. Trump's going to go. Apparently, Trump's going on. Is going to tape a thing with Joe Rogan. Do you think she should do that?
Yes.
I think that she should keep calling Donald Trump a fascist, and I think that Americans need to keep looking at the rhetoric of.
I do think she should have gone on Joe Rogan. That was a major fucking L by Kamala, by the way. That was a major L. Straight up. I think she should keep calling Donald Trump a fascist. She should not have adopted any of Trump's fascist policies. And that she should have separated herself from the Republican Party, which she is running against. She should also have separated herself from Joe Biden early on because she replaced him, obviously. A lot of mistakes. An unimaginable number of mistakes. Yeah, she was invited and she said no, which is so stupid. Israel's second wave of attacks on Iran.
Of Donald Trump, because I don't know why we're even thinking about electing somebody who's talking about putting people in camps. I don't know why why we want to elect somebody who's talking about mass deportation. I don't know why we're having this conversation about somebody who wants to terminate the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. Aren't we supposed to be a patriotic country? Whenever somebody like Colin Kaepernick takes a knee in this country, everybody talks about, oh, that's so unpatriotic. But a guy can say he wants to terminate the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election and nobody cares. And like even me bringing it up now, you brought it back to Kamala and Joe Rogan. And
yeah.
Who gives a damn?
Well, I think you get.
Okay, he's cooking. Like, he's not wrong. Kamala is shitty as a candidate, but Charlamagne is right. Wait, she was invited and said no? I thought it was her team that was trying to make it happen. I thought that they said that she wouldn't do it. Am I wrong? I thought she.
Give a damn who's elected president, and
yeah,
I'm asking you.
Am I wrong?
Fascist. That's talking about putting.
I thought she canceled.
In camps. That's talking about once again terminating the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. That's talking about jailing his political opponents. Yeah. Like that rhetoric doesn't scare people.
Well, we talked about this every single. This is what
I don't think
I've been talking about this every night.
I don't think y'all have enough conversations about it. I feel like I heard more on this network about is Kamala Harris black than I do about Donald Trump being a fascist. Well, am I wrong, Angela?
Honestly, that's bullshit. I'm sorry.
Oh, I like that.
I'm not. Look, I'm a huge fan of yours.
Okay.
But to say that we're sitting around discussing is Kamala Harris black, like
Oh,
mean,
I've seen that. I've seen those
that's
roundtable
definitely
discussions
on.
a lot. Now
That's
that's
true.
bullshit, Anderson. For you to say that y'all don't have those conversations.
I've never asked somebody is.
Oh, I'm not saying
Kamala
you.
Harris
I said
black?
the
Not you.
network.
He said the network. He
I
did
don't
say
think
the
anyone
network.
I don't think any anchor on this network has been going around saying, is she black?
Y'all have never
It's
had
definitely, it's
we
definitely
have
been.
had, look, I'm sure we have had, nutty people or people who have strongly held beliefs who I may disagree with, who
Yeah.
somewhere on some panel have said something, but
Yeah.
I will just
But
speak up
even-
for what I do on the show.
Fucking eating him, dude.
I
Get
do
him!
believe it's important to get people different viewpoints as long as they're willing to have a legitimate conversation. What I
But
don't like
is-
are surrogates who come out and just spout talking points that
Oh, you don't like it. No. You don't like it because he's doing it at the behest of Kamala Harris, which goes back to his fucking double standard argument, which is absolutely correct. Okay? You let Republican surrogates chirp on the platform every night, Anderson. I watch every night, Anderson. I see it every night. They literally they'll sometimes have two Republicans, okay? They won't even have a fucking Democrat on the panel. They'll just have two Republicans that are like, what level of Hitlerian policy can we be conducting here? You got sometimes former Republicans versus current Republicans. It's all Republican. The fuck do you mean? No, you just have an issue when it's a Kamala surrogate saying this. That's it. You just have an issue when it's a Kamala surrogate being like, this is a double standard, which is ironic because they're demonstrating said double standard right now.
they don't even believe.
Put Anderson back in the hurricane. He was popping off. That was my favorite Anderson. When he was inside of the hurricane, that was funny as fuck.
And those are people I tried to eliminate from having ever on the air again.
I think no network has honest conversations about Donald Trump. Nobody's had honest conversations about Donald Trump since 2016. I saw last night they were talking about, the double standard that exists between Donald Trump and the vice president. But it's always a double standard with Trump, whether it's with Hillary, whether it's, against Biden, now with Kamala. We talk about him being a threat to democracy, but we don't treat him like one.
I mean, I don't know what you've been watching, but I don't know of any Trump supporters out there or people who like him who are tuning in to me every night to try to get, to be validated in their opinions. I don't know.
No, it's worse. It's worse. You're normalizing his opinions and his attitude to a otherwise liberal audience. That makes it worse. Your audience is libtarded, okay? And you're just still, you got these liberals and you're fucking straight up you're hitting the wave you're hitting them with a wave of like Trump normalization. Straight up. They're lib the fuck up.
I don't know. I disagree.
I don't think it's about validating. What you mean, validating the Trump?
Well, you're saying that we're not, that I guess you're saying I'm not discussing all the things he is saying and doing and pointing it out. And
Also, his coverage does end up making it to Fox News when they just chirp. When they chirp like this, Fox News does play it the next day. So he's wrong on that. He's like, yeah, maybe they're not tuning into CNN, but they're still watching it. Yeah, they're watching it when Fox 5 puts it up and goes, see, even these stupid liberals also hate Kamala Harris and love Donald Trump. They think Donald Trump is the best. That happens every day. Every fucking day.
And talking to, what John Kelly, I mean, this has been discussed. There's
Anderson.
nobody, let me just say, there is nobody on the planet who has not heard and seen pretty much everything Donald Trump has said and knows
I don't believe that.
Knows,
I don't believe that.
Well, knows who he is, whether they believe
I don't
it or
believe
not,
that.
whether they care or not.
When the vice president said that to you last night, she said, I don't think enough people know. I 100% believe enough people have not heard his rhetoric. What do you think, Angela?
I was just about to say, can y'all tag me in? I'm never doing this
I'm
remote with y'all ever again.
Angela, yes. It's the problem of being on satellite. Yes.
I
talk,
know,
please,
it is the
come in.
problem. No, I was just going to say, I think what you're saying is fair, that there have been roundtable discussions where y'all raised this. I think the problem is it would be nice for, you know, you to cut to camera and say, I'm looking right here, right now. Y'all, Kamala Harris is a black woman.
Right,
Let's move right along.
Yeah,
But
yes.
but I was gonna say to your colleague's credit, Jake, right after the town hall yesterday, he said that you all had the opportunity to critique what Kamala Harris' policy proposals were, what her positions were, what her recommendations were, whether or not she answered her question fair enough, because ta-da, she's the only one that showed up for the town hall.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a debate. He said that. I think that the point is we don't hear those things enough, and it has been a threat. We cannot say, oh, you know, Kamala is going on with Joe Rogan, or no, I'm sorry, but Kamala's choosing Club Shay Shay. Debate it. Like it's like, what is he going to say when he goes on?
Here's what I've been saying, which is it is a double standard because Kamala Harris has policies and she talks about her policies. And you may think she doesn't talk in detail enough about her policies, and plenty do. And I pushed her on that last night. I quiz. I try to look at the policies from different, but she's got stated policies and you can look them up. Donald Trump does not have policies.
Oh, there we go.
The
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and we say, I mean, this is nothing new. We talk about this all the time. He doesn't have, he does not have, his policy, in the 2016, his policy for Iraq was taking Iraq's oil and using U.S. soldiers to surround the oil fields and extract the oil somehow and bring it to America. I mean, literally, and I was like, that's not a thing. So that's been going on now. That's what
you just did. What you just did is what.
Was there a micro F, a mini F? I didn't happen on my end. Holy shit, dude. 76 total frames dropped. You would think that the stream fell apart in its entirety. God damn, y'all are, I mean, hopefully it doesn't. 76 total frames dropped. 76. I just looked at it.
What I would like to hear more pundits do.
That's
because
1 second.
A lot of times we ask,
but
we
he's
ask
the host.
answers.
All right,
like
but
we say things like,
but let me
do
tell
you think Donald Trump is a fascist? Like I think we kind of got enough
you know
evidence
what?
to know that answer.
I'm not a pundit. I'm not interested. I don't think my opinion is particularly interesting for viewers out there. I'm interested in.
I disagree.
Well, okay, you can quibble with it.
I disagree with that too.
You can quibble with it, but I believe in asking questions and probing people's arguments and trying to reveal people's arguments, what's true and what's not. And I'm not on MSNBC for a reason. I'm not on some other network for a reason. I'm on CNN because I want to talk to Republicans, I want to talk to Democrats, and I want to learn from them. I don't think I have the answers. I'm willing to change my mind. People can convince me of stuff all the time. I'm not I don't even know why I'm talking about myself. I don't even know what I'm talking about myself.
No, but Anderson,
but my point is,
I want to tell you this.
I think what we're doing here is important because
It
I
is
do
so
think in this
important.
country where, you know what,
What is Anderson Cooper if he's not a pundit? Like, this is the first time I've heard him say he's not a pundit. I thought he was a pundit. What the fuck's his job then? Does he say he's a reporter? Because he's not a fucking reporter. Last time he did reporting was when he was directly in the hurricane, and we saw what his reporting capabilities were. It's like, this water is very wet, is what he reported. He straight up was like, water everywhere, very wet.
got so many. I don't look at comments about myself, but I was looking up some comments about my grief podcast, and I came across this whole inundation from people who are Harris supporters saying to me online today, like, how dare you, what a betrayal that you would ask her these questions.
No,
and
you
I'm
did
like,
your job.
you misunderstand what.
I don't have an issue with him asking those questions to Kamala Harris, but having said that, CNN's coverage throughout this entire process has been fucking insane, okay? There is no, like, and most media does this where they act like they're neutral. It's like forced neutrality. And in that process, they just end up normalizing Donald Trump's like unhinged shit. The question is simple. If Kamala Harris came out chirping in the same vein, if any Democrat came out saying the same shit, how would you cover it? You would do a week-long coverage, a news broadcast. If any Democrat came out and said, like, immigrants are poisoning the blood of America, okay? We've completely forgotten what, like, normal politics and normal political discourse is supposed to look like. And I kind of understand it to a certain degree because, like, what are you supposed to do, right? Like, it's not like Trump is stopping anytime soon. But having said that, they definitely do fucking stack the deck and overwhelmingly pummel one side. Ironically enough, it's the side that's playing ball with them and trying to fucking keep it a little serious.
My job is I'm not on MSNBC, and no disrespect. What they do is they're very talented, but I don't watch it. I'm not interested in watching what these overpaid, blow-dried anchors think, and I include myself in that over.
Damn, he's just shitting on fucking MSNBC. He's duking on him. Hey, yo, chill. I gotta defend Chris Hayes. He's a HasanAbi head reply guy. I will be defending Chris Hayes. Okay, I am a fedayeen for him.
Overpaid, blow-dried, although I don't blow-dry. I am overpaid, but I'm not interested in the anchor's opinion. I'm interested in facts and letting the viewers make up their own mind. So anyway, I'm sorry this devolved into something else. But this is
I like that you said that, but I will just say in this moment, some of what we're talking about tonight, Anderson, is not actually an opinion at all. It is just the facts. And you are one of the most trusted voices on television. And it is important in those moments where you know those
Is he though?
conversations devolve into nonsense, particularly on the other side of the aisle. They're conspiracy theory. They won't even say her name right. That has to be checked in the moment, because that is what fascism looks like. That is how we start sliding down a very slippery slope, and we cannot afford to be here. The election is 12 days away, and this should not be even what is on the ballot, but democracy's on the line.
Oh, shit.
Hello, world.
Hello, world.
We just wrapped up a great podcast.
We had a good time. I think you'll find it very interesting and enjoy it.
Oh, shit. 36 minutes ago, already at 156,000 likes. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my God. Oh, number one podcast, number one president. Let's go. Dude. This, it shouldn't be like this. Okay? It should not be like this. It should not be the case that the motherfucking leader of the United States of America, the former president of the United States of America, currently running for president again, goes on a podcast and it's like kind of pivotal, but we are there. I'm not saying it's right. As a matter of fact, I'm saying it's wrong, but it's what's happening right now. Okay? Like, we shall see what happens in this conversation. I feel like this is it. This is the apex. Who in Rogan's audience isn't already voting for him? Dog, he is the low mid propensity voters that are likely swinging in Trump's direction. This conversation in and of itself, if Trump did a fantastic job on it, could actually get them off the couch. You know, like Trump takes a fucking bong rip and says, listen, it's the first time I've ever smoked weed. I'm going to make it legal. I'm going to legalize it. Don't smoke weed or take mushrooms on November 5th. Believe me, folks, we need you out. We need you out in Pennsylvania. Every single one of the dumbest guys you know, if you're living in Pennsylvania, if you're living in the Philadelphia suburbs, this is the Coworker Podcast. Your coworkers, if you're like me, you regularly poll your friends, your normie friends, okay? I'm telling you right now, my normie friends who are mid and low propensity voters have been waiting for this interview, okay? I have heard from some of them that unironically said, I want Kamala Harris and Trump both to be interviewed by Joe Rogan, and then I'm going to make my decision. I'm telling you right now, okay? For those of you in the professional field, whether blue collar, if you communicate with people, if you communicate with your coworkers, you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. There are going to be people that are Trump supporters. They signal that they like Trump, that probably weren't going to vote. And depending on the outcome of this interview performance, they will go out and vote potentially. Okay? I know I have friends who have texted me when they found out that Kamala Harris wasn't doing the podcast and said that they were disappointed. Okay? They were like, I'm disappointed that Kamala Harris is not doing the Joe Rogan Experience. Now, we were also disappointed, but I don't think it plays a significant role in your decision-making structure. Some of you are going to vote for Kamala. Some of you are not voting for Kamala. But regardless of your opinion on that matter, you've probably made up your mind. And also, you made up your mind after analyzing the situation. I would not say that anyone here, even if they're not going to go out and vote, is a low information voter. By the very nature of what I do, I'm bringing in people that are nerdy about this shit. There are a lot of people who don't give a fuck.
Right. That is not a partisan issue. It is the truth. And I think that's what's important for cable news networks in particular to be saying, whether you're on Fox.
There's no reason for Kamala to do Joe Rogan. It's not her voters, let's face it. What? Still pretending to ignore the Israeli retaliation attack? What? Dude, what are you guys talking about? I covered it already. Keep watching the Israel-Iran news on your phone, brother. Still pretending to ignore the Israeli-Iranian retaliation attack? Like, are people okay? Why do I have so many fucking psychopaths? Okay, there's a second wave going on. If there's something significant, we'll figure it out. We'll get to it. I don't know if people that come in that say stuff like that are saying that because they like want to clip my reaction because they think I'm gonna fucking, say something like that they can clip out of context against Israel, or if they think I'm in the pocket of Israel and that's why I'm hiding it or something. Like, I can never tell. It's crazy. I just don't think it would be good for her. You said so yourself, the more she's on TV, the more you dislike her, putting her in an at best antagonistic host. No. The reason why I think it would have been good is because Joe Rogan is like physically incapable of being antagonistic. Unless Kamala Harris starts talking about COVID or weirdly enough says she's going to like make weed illegal or something, Joe Rogan doesn't give a fuck. He literally will talk to anyone, whether they are a Nazi or whether they are a Maoist third worldist. If you don't hit any of Joe Rogan's buttons, those are the two buttons. Don't talk shit about COVID. Don't say nothing about COVID, okay? Or don't dare say anything about like making weed illegal. Nah, you're wrong. Joe will go hard at her. No, he won't. Joe Rogan is a Republican, okay? That much is 100% correct. Joe Rogan is a Republican. But Joe Rogan is also Joe Rogan. He can't stop himself. He has never given an adversarial interview in his life, with the exception of those two things that I just mentioned. I promise. If Kamala Harris went on Rogan and fucking ripped the bong, this would alter the trajectory of American history. All right. Before we get to Ben Shabibo, let's look at Stephen A. Smith, Rip Hannity. Okay? I'm gonna be honest. Stephen A. Smith and Charlamagne the God are significantly better surrogates for the campaign than motherfucking Mark Cuban. Let's take a look.
The reason Kamala Harris is not getting into more depth about all of her possible programs, because I think if people find out, they're not going to be happy about it.
I hope that Kamala will win in the end. Mm-hmm.
What would be the policies that affect you most that drive you to vote for Kamala Harris?
Now, I'll be honest. I haven't paid enough attention to know her specific policies. It does seem like she's been there for the middle class, which a lot of my family is.
All right, joining us now with reaction is ESPN host, the one and only Stephen A. Smith. Do you want to get it out of the way now, how hard your life is, that you have to defend the fact that you admit that you're friends with me? You want to get that out of the way at the beginning or at the end?
No,
Just asking.
I don't need to get that out of the way. The public knows that already. You get on my nerves. I don't agree with you 75% of the time, but you're still my buddy. I feel bad for you half the time with some of the takes you give, but I'm here to help you out anyway. What's going on, Sean?
Okay. All right. I always say, you say to me, stay in my lane when I talk sports, stay in your lane on politics. However, there's something amazing. Putting aside any demographic group, if you are going to attack them, you want them to vote a certain way.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Trump's decision to spend hours with Joe Rogan not going over well with Michiganders, some of whom are leaving as they learn the former president is still more than an hour away. Oh, no. Oh, no. The campaign just aired a video message from Trump on his plane explaining he had to spend time with Rogan because he needs to win. Says the plane should land around 10 p.m. Eastern. Many in the crowd continue to leave. More Trump rally attendees in Traverse City heading for their cars per video shot by Jake M. Rosen. He's like, come on, you fucking peasants. I have to do it. I have to do it. Dude, that's awesome. Stadium is filling up for the Beyonce concert tonight. Yeah, come on. This is like, not to be Listen, dog, not to be too much of like a Republican here. Wait, it effed again? This time I didn't see any drop frames on my end. Okay? I didn't see any frame drops. It didn't even show on my end. I'll just say this much. Okay? Not to be like the Fox News anchors here, but like this is a fucking Beyonce rally. This is a Beyonce concert. Okay? This is a Beyonce concert. That's not, it's Beyonce, not just Beyonce, but Beyonce in Houston,
And you are going to suggest that they are sexist or misogynistic. If you're going to suggest, like Stacey Abrams did, that African-American men are racist and sexist, is that a good way to encourage people to vote the way you'd like them to vote?
What?
No, but I didn't hear Stacey. I didn't hear Stacey Abrams speak in that way. As a matter of fact, she talked about how black men do vote. Black men do support Kamala Harris. Black men do support a lot of the Democrats and what have you. And she's absolutely right about that. I spoke against President Barack Obama, who I know you don't like that, but I admire and respect this man. I did not like what he had to say at that particular clip that you showed, and I spoke out about it on my show, the Stephen A. Smith Show, and I'm unapologetic about that because I know, by and large, black men have always supported black women. That's a fact. That's a point of fact. Now, that doesn't mean that there isn't some misogyny that does exist amongst a few in our community. But I think that when we looked at this election that's forthcoming, and we see Kamala Harris going up against Donald Trump, I don't think it's right to point to that as a reason why it's a nip and tuck race and why she isn't receiving the support that she deserves. And that is why I spoke out against what he had to say on that particular issue, because I was refuting what he was saying. I don't believe that to be the case at all.
Okay, both Stephen A. Smith and Charlamagne the God are like kind of conservative voters that end up voting for the Democratic Party. So maybe Kamala Harris was actually signaling to them. They might be the Liz Cheney constituency. Now that I think about it, it's making a lot more sense. Charlamagne the God famously endorsed Michael Bloomberg, probably for money, but that's besides the point. Then he endorsed Pete Buttigieg, I think. He made some very interesting decisions in that primary. And Stephen A. Smith is famous for, 3 base takes to 8 not so good takes. So it's interesting. It's interesting to think that, they are the most likely Liz Cheney constituency voters.
When it comes to her.
All right, so let's stay.
Because Liz Cheney's a white woman? Wait, what? No, dude. I'm making a joke about them being conservative overall. They're like relatively conservative liberals.
On Kamala Harris for a second here. Democrats are in a state of panic. Although momentum seems to be going to Donald Trump. I told you this would happen in a private conversation we had. You were skeptical. I think I was proven right. You know sports better than I do. I think I know politics. I know.
You do.
But here's my question. Did call her out early. And you said she's making a mistake not doing interviews. Now, she does these interviews, and I argue to you that the reason she's struggling and she's like tied up in a pretzel. Because she can't express what she has stated publicly, that she wants the Green New Deal, the elimination of the filibuster. She can't say she wants to eliminate private health insurance, as she has said in the past. She's not going to run on what she has stated in the past to decriminalize illegal immigration, free food, housing, health care, education, sex change operations, and a path to citizenship, or banning fracking, banning offshore drilling. So she...
Dude, conservative commentary is so awesome. Like, why the fuck am I dealing with all these dumb bitches up my ass all the fucking time, lying on my name, smearing myself, when I could just be like a fucking conservative and just say whatever the fuck I want and just receive admiration from the dumbest motherfuckers out there. Unlimited dollars. Ain't nobody yelling at me about anything. Like, look at what just Sean Hannity said. Okay, look at what he just said. Like, yeah, Kamala Harris wants to do transgender surgeries on frackers that are crossing the border illegally. What's up with that? Of course, she's going to have a hard time dealing with, any kind of slight pushback. It's like, what are you saying? It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to make sense. It's so easy. It's so fucking easy. You just sit there and you're like, Trump good. Okay? Trump good. I will say whatever fucking unhinged ass shit you've ever heard in your entire life. That's your future career when you fall off. Yeah. It's just funny because everyone's always saying that it's going to happen one day. Like, I'm inevitably going to fall off. The fall off is inevitable. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And then I'll be right wing. And then all the people that were like praying for my downfall will become my lovers, I guess.
She has to, give us word salads because she won't tell us how she really feels. She's hiding her true beliefs.
Well,
Donald Trump doesn't do that.
Well, first of all, that's a very long question. Let's get to it. Number one, you talk about what she's doing. Bottom line is this: as vice president of the United States, it wasn't her job to lead. She has to go along with the program. You are a support base. You support the person that is in charge, who happened to be Joe Biden. That's number one. Number two, I know you're not talking about somebody being lucid and cogent and enunciating their thoughts with clarity, and you're bragging about Donald Trump. We can't be watching the same stuff if that's what you're doing. You ain't gonna do that today. Now,
what?
Lindsey Graham, hold it. Now, Senator Lindsey Graham is about to come on this show.
Let me tell you something.
That man can articulate himself very well. Not Donald Trump now.
I have sat with him for hour after hour after hour, topic after topic after topic, and he is so dialed in. Really? Look, it's funny. People try. This is like the latest argument. And meanwhile, your friends in the Democratic Party, they ignored the obvious, significant, deep cognitive decline of the president for over 4 years. I said it before the 2020 election. Kamala to this day say, oh, Joe was really cognitively alert. You know that's a crock. I know that's a crock.
What is she supposed to say, Sean?
Knows it's a crock. Not Donald Trump.
Sean, what is it? Hold on. What is she supposed to say? She's supposed to sit up there and say, you know what, my president, my boss.
Truth.
I mean, there was. No, you're not. No, you don't do that.
Show?
You don't dime out your boss. You don't do that. I do tell the truth on my show, but guess what? So I said I do. What I said, however, is that I'm not going to dime out my boss if that's my boss. Go ahead.
Whoa, hang on a second. You know what? I have never watched you hold back. You say what you mean. You mean what you say. That's my point. She is. But she knew he was a cognitive mess, and now she's lying. Oh no, I never noticed it. It's a crock.
Sean,
it's a lie.
Because Sean, what you're trying to
it's a lie.
Listen, I personally, a year earlier, I was saying there's slippage, there's something that ain't there. He ain't going to make it to the election. Y'all better get with the program, do something about it. I was on the record about Joe Biden, but I'm not a part of the Biden administration. And if I was a part of the Biden administration, I wouldn't have told you that. That's number one. Number two, she's the candidate now. You got to run against her. Are you going to beat her, Sean? Are you going to beat her? Are you going to beat her?
It's straight up. The American people.
Are you as confident as you were months ago?
The biggest choice.
I see some slippage on his part.
Stephen A.
He's running the greatest fucking counter of all time, which is now that Kamala is running and not Joe Biden, you could just be like, oh, he's too old. He's old. He's skipping a beat. He's missing a step here and there. Breaking news showing bombing in Iran. What the fuck is going on with this chat, bro? I know, man. I know. We know. We already covered it.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Yes.
She lied when she said the inflation's transitory.
Dude, foreign policy nerds are so annoying. Like, even fucking Elent News is not as much, chirping as much as you guys.
They lied repeatedly, and she said, oh, no, the border's secure, the border's secure. Now,
are you
all
sure?
Of a sudden,
Are you sure you want to make the case about somebody lying in favor of Trump?
She never changed her positions on... She never changed her position on the...
Dude, this is also a fucking idiotic argument, because it's like, dude, you talk about Kamala Harris flip-flopping on her positions when you're defending Donald Trump. Donald Trump flip-flops on his positions in the same conversation. Like, what's Donald Trump's position on abortion? Ask him 2 years ago. He's excited at the prospect of it getting overturned. Ask him today. He's like, everybody wanted it to be overturned. I didn't want it to be overturned. Ask him about IVF. He didn't know what the fuck it was. In one moment of the conversation, he didn't know what IVF is. And then the next moment of the conversation, he's the father of IVF. Okay? He literally flips in the same sentence. Like, what kind of metric are we applying here? It makes no damn sense. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You can't be like, oh, Kamala Harris is a flip-flopper while you're a fucking Trump supporter. Like, what are you talking about? I can say that. You can't, Sean.
Green New Deal on sex change operations, open borders, amnesty.
Yeah, my favorite one was when he said, Ashley Babbitt died, nobody died. That was the funniest line. It's like, but it happens so frequently that That was the Univision response when he was like, Ashley Babbitt died, nobody died. Our people, we weren't armed, they were armed. And it's like, what do you mean we? So now you're owning it? Like, what's happening?
Until
when I say we, I mean they, Antifa, but also we, brave patriots that were arrested as political prisoners.
She became a candidate. You know what that means? She is a typical politician that just will say whatever needs to be said to win an election. You get the last word because I like you so much.
Can I retort? Let me retort. Fair enough.
Okay.
You didn't even bring up fracking. You didn't even bring up the border. That's absolutely a valid point on your part. What she's doing now is saying, excuse me, I'm open to compromise. I'm willing to work across the aisle. I'm willing to listen and make things happen. Now, you have a lot of people who are going to vote for Trump, and they absolutely positively believe he will change Washington. The question is, will it be for better or will it be for worse? The cesspool that we look at as the nation's capital, if you got him back in office and he's on a revenge tour and he's not focused on doing what it takes to lead the country, where will that lead the country? You're not bringing that part up. So again, we might not like something on the left. We might not like something on the right. These are the two candidates that we've got to work with. And when you bring up issues in terms of character or in terms of being truthful or whatever, let me tell you something right now. You can bring a whole bunch of Republicans and I'll be cool with it. You can't bring up Trump to make a case against somebody else using those arguments. You can't do that.
You know what? I'm predicting that privately you're going to vote for Trump.
Oh, never. And I told you I'm on the record. I'd have voted almost for any Republican but him. Okay?
This is why I say he's a fucking conservative, dude. Look, like, you would have voted for a Republican? Like, what the fuck are you saying, man? Anyway, we didn't even get to this, like, since the invasion of Ukraine. Elon, Joe Rogan, and Trump, ex-Trump drops tonight.
Decides to understand their power. They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation. And that has to stop.
Okay, right away.
Yeah.
There's no way to misconstrue that.
What does that mean?
Oversight and regulation for free speech is ridiculous.
Yeah, totally.
Just that alone, there's no way to misconstrue that, right?
Wait, Donald Trump literally said he's going to revoke licenses from fucking news media outlets that he does not like. Donald Trump personally is on board with whatever the fuck the Heritage Foundation wants, which we just figured out was like trying to. Donald Trump has openly stated that he wants to not only arrest but deport college campus student protesters. Who the fuck are you talking about? You're in the state of Texas, where you are legally not allowed to protest against the state of Israel and also retain a job in the public school system. The fuck?
What she was saying is what I was thinking she was saying. She was saying she wants government oversight and regulation for social media. That's crazy.
It's crazy for anyone to want it, because if the only reason you
agree
with the
this is not Donald Trump. I don't know what this convo is about, but Trump sat for 3 hours with Joe Rogan, is tracking 2.5 hours late to his rally in Traverse City, the rally outside in an airport hangar. Hundreds of people have been filing out for the last 30 minutes. This is going to make Trump really mad that his rally in Michigan, people are leaving. His rally in Michigan, people are fucking leaving. Meanwhile, what is it? Traverse? Oh, it's Travers. Is that how you say it? God, America's so fucking stupid.
Big screen.
While Kamala Harris is probably having her biggest rally so far with fucking Beyonce in Houston.
Including doing Joe Rogan, and we want to just win. So I said, will they understand in Traverse City? Otherwise, I'll be very upset with myself. And I think you will. And it's a Friday night, so we can sit around. We'll do an extra special job when we get there. I think we land in about 2 hours, and we're stepping on the gas. But it's all about winning, and we had to spend some extra time with some people. And
I mean, he's literally saying he cares about Joe Rogan's rich ass way more than you fucking poor pieces of shit in Michigan. And he's right. he does care more about Joe Rogan. He doesn't give a fuck about you. Do with that information what you will, you know what I mean?
Hello.
All of those fucking hogs will still gladly vote for him. They're like, we're fucking pieces of shit, Mr. President. Thank you. We know our place, sir. Don't you say another dang thing. I promise. We understand. Traverse is not poor. Okay, well, I don't care. In comparison to Joe Rogan, everybody's a broke boy. Come on, dude. He's got like $200 million contracts from Spotify.
And lots of people, actually. But we are going to do a special performance, and we'll be there. And I think you'll see the plane land and the whole thing. And we really appreciate it. Hope you can stay around. We'll be about 2 hours. I should land around 10 or a little before that. And I appreciate it very much. We're going to have a good time tonight. See you in a little while.
They played this video at the rally at a supposed start time and still had 2 hours to travel. That's amazing. Hold the line, folks. Hold the line, brave patriots. Hold the line. He's going to get there. Hold the fucking line.